Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. I am joined by Mitch and Rachel. How are you both doing today?
Great.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
So we're here to talk about the Community Roots program. Before we get into it, I want to make sure that you hit subscribe on this channel and like on this video. And I will start this off by saying the Community Roots program is not specific to any one real estate brand or office. This is available to all the people that qualify, and it doesn't matter who you are using for professional services. So we'll start off by saying that. Mitch and Rachel, can you please tell me a little bit about your role with the PCRC and a bit about yourselves?
Sure, I'll go first. So my name is Mitch Tilk. I'm the Local Immigration Partnership Program Coordinator here at the Portage Community Revitalization Corporation. And my job is to make the community a better place for newcomers when they get here. So I don't work directly with newcomers on things like paperwork and direct settlement needs. I work with the community itself to help prepare the community for newcomers when they arrive and help the whole community understand the importance of immigration and why we should all be pulling together to help people settle here more comfortably and make this place feel like home. So that's how I kind of got involved in, the affordable housing aspect of Portage and the Community Roots program as a way to kind of help alleviate some of those gaps that exist for people. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Rachel Templeton. I'm the community facilitator at the PCRC. The main part of my job is looking for funding and searching for proposals to help the community. I apply for a lot of grants, whether it's for housing, for transportation, for food security, you name it. Another part of my job is I manage the small grants program. That's another funding opportunity for organizations in Portage to host events, to host programming, maybe to do a little bit of renos on their building. Also, the Community Roots program. So a while back, when we were provided funding, which was streamed from the federal government to the provincial government, then to the PCRC, we were able to have a couple programs. We're doing an affordable housing build, which will be a 4 or 5 unit affordable housing build that an organization can take over to provide affordable housing to those that are in need. There's also a housing study going on for Portage la Prairie, and our program, the Community Roots program, is basically a first-time homebuyers program, which Mitch and I oversee, and we help out with anyone that has any inquiries about it, any promotion of it, and work through any possible applicants to help them through the process and hopefully get them approved.
So I guess my question to start off with, this program is wonderful. I am aware of it. Maybe one of the things that people aren't aware of is what does the program entail completely? Like, what is step number one? If you're interested in taking it, what is this? What can it do for you? And what is step one in taking advantage of it? Well,
I think step one would be find out some information about it first, whether that's checking out the PCRC's website, and it would be under PCRC Programs, Community Roots Program, because there's a brochure that talks about what the eligibility is, what the criteria is, and what the program it consists of. There's also a video of a presentation that we did a while back, going through the slides of explaining each part of the program. So that would help you out too. If you're still kind of stumped, please throw us an email, give us a call, and we can walk you through that. Once we, go through the criteria and eligibility and find out that you are eligible, the first thing that we're going to say is, before we can even start the application process, you need to get a pre-approved mortgage from an authorized financial organization, such as a bank or a mortgage broker. And it has to be within Canada, and it has to be authorized through the CMHC. And that would be the very first step. And once they have that, Then they come, and then they would make an appointment with us, and we would sit down and go through the application with them. The application is a bit daunting. It's about, I don't know, I think 10 pages long, I think, Mitch, maybe even more, but there's not a rush. You don't have to rush through it. Where I always say the minute that we're sitting down during the application is, don't let it scare you. We've got time to work on this. We can help you with it. And there's a lot of financial information that we're asking for. But that's only shared between, Mitch, myself, and your banker. And so we go through that to make sure you have all the proper documentation. You go through the application. We bring it to our financial committee, and we provide them a summary. They ask some questions. Sometimes they approve right off the hop, or sometimes they say, okay, not approved yet. They need to work on a couple of things. If they are approved, then we go to the next stage of they come in for another appointment, and this one will be a little bit quicker one. And we talk about the next steps. We would also sign a pre-approval conditional agreement, just saying, as of right now, you're approved. The next step is you have to complete the first-time home buyers educational series. And I think Mitch can talk a bit about that.
Sure. So yeah, I guess sort of a general overview of the purpose of this program would be, people that are looking to transition into home ownership who just have trouble saving up that down payment, which we know is a big ask for a lot of people that are, paying rent, and to put something aside to save up for down payment is daunting, especially as we know life happens, and sometimes that things get in the way of that. So that's sort of the purpose of this program is anybody that, thinks, they're ready for home ownership, but just can't quite get that down payment together. That would be where this program steps in. So, and then, likewise, any clients that are clients of realtors that they know maybe are, this would open them up to maybe different housing options that they couldn't afford otherwise. We'd encourage people to do that. But yeah, part of the requirements from it is sort of a first-time home buyers education sort of component, where we want to make sure that people are being set up for success in their first time owning a home. So we've got different videos that people can watch. They're kind of broken up into seasons. So you'll have your autumn house preparations, to get ready for the winter. There'll be a video on the winter stuff, and a lot of times I work with newcomers. This is valuable information just about like what to expect in terms of shoveling a driveway and looking out for water in your basement and stuff like that. These are a lot of times unfamiliar things for people that are living outside of Canada. So that the videos help with that kind of stuff. They help with if you're looking to save on electricity costs, here's some tips for making sure windows are sealed better and stuff like that. So general home ownership type tips to kind of get ahead of some of these, some problems before they become emergencies, and little house saving tips, little maintenance things that, because you want to protect your investment in this. And yeah, so that's kind of what the purpose of those, the education component of it is. So yeah, we hope that when people are successful through this program, that we're setting them up for a long time spent in that home, and it's a successful thing for them.
That's incredibly interesting for me, because I've seen it many times where someone that was a first-time homeowner goes in and they live in their house for a few years and they go to sell it, and you walk in and you wonder like, what happened here? And it's just a matter of educating someone that the downspout should be attached, or you shouldn't just stuff socks in something to stop airflow, or not use a furnace filter because hey, who needs it, that kind of thing. So very valuable. Particularly I can see that for newcomers that come from a place that might not have a similar climate to Manitoba. Question for you, as far as like the down payment, does that also cover legal costs on top of that as well? So somebody has the opportunity to basically have these things covered, and that's a forgivable loan?
Yep. Yeah, so they'll have the down payment covered up to 15,000, right? Yeah.
15,500. It's a kind of an odd amount because it goes on percentage. So
And then the legal fees would be covered, like the closing costs, that kind of stuff. And then we'd cover one house inspection up front as well, to make sure that, nobody's walking into anything that's, going to be unsafe for them or dangerous or anything like that. But any subsequent inspections that have to take place would be at the buyer's expense. But we do cover the first one just to make sure that everything's all good.
Yeah, and we cover closing costs up to $1,750, which I think pretty much covers most closing costs. I think we hit that pretty well. And when we say forgivable loan, so after, and it's for 5 years. So as long as you haven't sold the house in 5 years, then our name is removed, like the city's name is removed from the part of what's on the bank. And then it's done. So if you happen to sell your house before the 5 years, there would be like a prorated amount that would have to be paid back if you did sell the house. But I'm thinking 5 years is a pretty reasonable time to stay in a home. I don't think too many people would have to worry about that part.
Well, yeah, to just paraphrase that a little bit, you basically have everything you need without saving up to close on a home of a certain value if you meet the criteria. And as long as you live there for 5 years, that is forgiven. That is incredibly valuable. And the word needs to get out there a little bit more on this program.
Yes. The more we can pass that information on, whether it's to realtors or to insurance brokers, to financial institutions, and any organizations for sure. I mean, we recently had a landlord come in here, and he was happy to hear about that program because he has some tenants that are very, really good with paying rent and what have you. But he said just that chunk of a down payment is what they're struggling with. So he was sharing this information with his tenants. So I think that's a really good sign. That's
incredible.
Yeah.
Is there anything else about the program you would like to talk about?
Some struggles that we're hearing are some applicants who are trying to get a pre-approved mortgage that are having a little bit of trouble with that. And our advice is shop around. If you have not having luck at one financial institution, you can ask them what you can do as an applicant to try and get a pre-approved mortgage, because sometimes the bank will work with you and say, hey, let's do this for the next 3 to 6 months, and that might help your credit rating and for you to be pre-approved. Or you can try going to another financial institution, or trying even thinking outside the box of not, a brick and mortar financial institution, but maybe a mortgage broker. So that's another option too. So don't give up.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to add too is that this program is open for residents of the city and the RM of Portage la Prairie. But we've also, I think, recently changed some of the eligibility criteria to allow people, they only have had to live in this RM of the city for 1 year of the past 5. And we're hoping to kind of capture some returning people that maybe went away to university or something and are ready to come back and own a home. So they would still qualify as long as they lived here for 1 year of the past 5.
And working in Portage for a year as well. I think that's also new to the criteria.
Yeah.
So, because we know that there's possibly a lot of people who are commuting, possibly even from Winnipeg, who might be struggling once again, paying rent, but don't have enough money for a down payment. But if they've been working in Portage for longer than a year, then they should come check out our program for their eligibility.
Yeah. And like it's right in our name, Community Roots. We want people to be putting down roots here in Portage and making it feel like home and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if people are commuting back and forth in Winnipeg, that's not really ideal for our community. So if there's a way that we can help people move here and own a home and put down roots, then that's what we want.
I guess I just have one more question. Is there a maximum home value for this?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, and it's $275,000, right, Rach?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a healthy budget for most homes in Portage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to post the link for the program in the video description. So when you're watching the video, make sure you click on the description. You'll be able to click on that link And I would like to thank you both for joining me today. And I hope you have great success with this program and we help get the word out there.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ryan, for having us.